in the morning. And this morning it is my pleasure, because I've known this guy for quite a while, to introduce to you Mr. Mark Weber.
Howdy, how you doing, Dan?
Oh, mijo, so glad to see you here. Our viewers and our listeners for Cafecito are well aware that Yvonne and I, both from Edgewood, both graduates from the school district, both employed from the school district, both retired from the school district, made a little promise to ourselves that we were going to select Edgewood people. Even though Mr. Mark is not from Edgewood, he has given, and I'm going to say minus a few months, but he has given approximately 20 years to the Edgewood community at San Martin de Porres, at the church at Mass at San Martin de Porres. So, Mark, on behalf of Yvonne, on behalf of myself, thank you for giving to our community, to our children, to our school district.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here and a great honor to be selected to be on Cafecito.
Yeah, that's who we are. You're not from San Antonio, so tell me where you are from.
I'm originally from Warren County, Ohio. I've resided in San Antonio for the last 34 years, and originally, the first time I was in San Antonio was back in the Hemisphere days.
Ooh,
As a visitor.
Okay.
And then I came back as a private first class in the United States Army Reserve, and was assigned to Fort Sam Houston 40 years ago, 1983. And I made a promise that I would come back as an officer. And 7 years later, I came back as a commissioned officer in the United States Army Reserve, a regular, and been here ever since 1990.
You're a commissioned officer?
I was.
You was?
I was.
So your title, or your, and I hate to, because I don't know. Well,
The rank?
The rank.
I was a captain, and so
Sweetie, you're
I
kidding.
I got out as a captain.
I am so proud. You see, here we go. Never even knew that about you. I thought you were a peculiar singing guy with an accordion.
There's lots of things
that
we can uncover.
Out.
Yes, probably
that
right here in the next
out.
15 minutes.
Wow. That's pretty neat. I told Yvonne, I got a guy, he is a radio DJ. I said, but he plays the accordion, and here I'm finding out that you're Captain Cheapers. I'm going to look at you totally different now.
They're a dime a dozen.
They're all over. Yeah. So, describe your style of music. Please tell me about it.
Okay, well, I guess we could say, and I'm not so sure I'd use the term fusion, but I didn't know what conjunto music was until 1992. So I didn't know about Cajun. I never heard Zydeco. So I grew up with some country and some old school rock up in Ohio, and that was mainly the basis for what I knew back then. When I started listening to KEDA Radio Jalapeno to brush up my Spanish that I learned in high school, 3.5 years, was the president of the Spanish club at one point. So I said, I'm going to learn some more Spanish because I like languages, I like learning. The mind never, rests. It keeps on churning up here. So I said, I'm going to listen to this station to get more proficient in Spanish. When I did, the music hit me within about
months
or something. I'm like, no, it's not enough for me to turn on the radio. I listened to other stations, but I listened more to KDA than anything. And by 1992, late, it was like KDA, conjunto, puro conjunto. So I listened to that, and so I started listening to the music, and then what I would do was I would determine that I would want to play the accordion within 6 months, and I did that. So my music, when I play and I compose and write in either Spanish or English, is kind of a fusion of the way past to 30 years ago when I started listening, and even now, some today, a little bit more of an influence. So it's influenced by a lot of different things, even bluegrass.
Okay. And your connection to San Martin de Porres, right across the street from Gardendale Elementary in Edgewood. Tell me about that connection.
Okay. Well, I was God and I got into a little wrestling match in 2002. Oh, I'm sorry, 2002. 2002. It was a long time ago. And he says, you know what? I gave you the talent to play the accordion, and I can take it away if I want. Now, what I want you to do after you settle down and you did a 3-hour temper tantrum as an adult, I said, I'm going to choose the church in which I'm going to play. And I said, I'm going to go to the church at Poplar and Zarzamora.
Right.
And it's an all-black congregation called West End Church of God in Christ.
Correct.
And I stayed out there for 2 years, Cheno and Mary Escalera from the west side in San Martin de Porres invited me to come out to San Martin, and I came out in 2004 around June, and I brought one accordion with me. And so I got in between the two masses there, the Spanish and the English mass, and they said, can you play these songs in the back? Can you play this polka right here? Yeah, I can play that. Can you play this? Yes, I can play that. Okay, fine. When we go back in there, don't play anything. I said, don't worry. I don't know what y'all are playing. I don't know what you're playing, so I'm not gonna make a peep out of an accordion. At the end of the mass, Chris Trejo was standing up as the choir director, and he says, and introducing our new backup accordion player, Mark Weber. I'm like, what? I'm the backup. So I stood up and raised my hand and said hi to everybody. So at that time, Tony Escalante was the lead accordion player for the church and has been since 1970, since the inception of the choir. And within about 3 years, in 2007, Tony says, I've had people come in here and come and go. And at that point, he was 70 years old and something. And he says, I've had people come and go, and they say they're going to take over for me, but they're not the ones. He says, you're the one. I said, I'm the one? He says, you're the one. I want you to promise me to stay in San Martin de Porres and take over for me when I'm not able to play. And so since about 2013, for the last 10 years, it has been me as the primary accordionist for the church.
And for those of you who he did mention Escalante, for those of you who do know him, David Escalante is the son, his child, Mr. Escalante's son. David Escalante, the singer.
Yeah, from the City Boys,
From City Boys.
And now proud owner of Escalante Studios on the west side.
That's right, on the west side. Select 3 songs, because I love your lyrics. You know, my husband has your music, and so we listen to your music. I love your lyrics. Select 3 different songs and just sing a couple of words from the lyrics. Okay, go sing song number 1.
Song number 1 is the first one I really wrote with the intent of being recorded. It's called Busted, Disgusted, and Living in Hondo. We did that one in Toby's Custom Recording Studios on West Commerce. And I got in there and I said, I wrote a song for my second CD. I wrote this song, and it's called Busted, Disgusted, and Living in Hondo. And they just kind of smirked and said, it's your money. You know, if you want to do it, I guess record it. So I had brought in a steel guitar player, and along with a guitar player and a bass and a drummer. And so it kind of tells the story of part of my life.
That's right.
meeting my wife in church. And so anyway, it says, her mother is from Mexico. Her daddy works at Texaco. We fell in love at first sight. We wound up getting married. My single life got buried, and I knew I was headed for a fight. She's now living the high life and messing with my life. It's almost more than I can stand. Hope she's happy in San Anto, living in her brand new condo, 'cause I'm busted, disgusted, and living in Hondo.
Song number 2, tell us about it.
So, song number 2, well, my wife is from Mexico, and we would go to the gigs, and she, sometimes, we would have communication problems. Her native language is Spanish, and mine is English, or hillbilly, and so she'd say, no me gusta la canción de la Sancha. I'm like, what? Sancha? I never said Sancha one time up there. Every time we would go home from a gig, she would say, no me gusta otra vez la canción de la Sancha. Estás cantando con la Sancha. I said, I'm not singing a song. One night I got up there and I said, okay guys, we're going to sing this song on 3. And I said, oh my gosh, I finally figured out what she was singing. So I was singing You Are My Sunshine. So she was hearing Sancha.
Sunshine.
So Escalante Studios convinced me to write the song and call it La Sancha. And so it said, you are my Sancha, my only Sancha. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you, but please don't take my Sancha away.
That is so funny. And I've heard that one too.
Yes.
Okay, song number 3.
Song number 3. We're going to have to reach for this one. Let's see. Let's go with Payaso por su amor in Spanish. Clown for your love. I wrote it because another life situation, like Nick Villarreal, El Nicky Sneak used to tell me, just write about life. That's easy to do, you know. It's fun and it'll come out. He said, you know, write about this. Well, there was a gentleman at K88 Radio named Big Rich, and he and a real good friend of mine, Maria Martinez, they used to like each other, kind of, sort of, but kind of not, in, out, yes, no, sí, que no, whatever. And so I wrote a song about it, and he at one point was a Shriner and a clown, and he had dressed her up as the Mrs. Shriner clown, and they went together, and they would love each other, then they would fight, and love each other and fight and get back and forth. Big Rich, he died before the song came out, but I was writing it. Maria Martinez was in the studio at Escalante Studios, and I said, hey, we want you to listen to this song right here. And it told the story about how the clown is kind of creepy and would follow her around and try to win her heart and drive by her place of work. And you can call the police or whatever, but it's not going to happen. I'm still going to come after you and be like a buen cazador. Soy payaso, payaso por su amor. So, and when she heard that song on the radio, her jaw dropped down to the floor, and she says, that song's about us. And I'm like, yes, it is. See? And there's one more. Number 4 would be a song called Where's the Weed? You can look these songs all up on YouTube. They're on there. Where's the Weed? The son from my wife, my stepson, and I were driving through Mississippi, and we get pulled over by a county mountie, and he says, where's the weed? Where am I going to find it? I'm like, what? We don't have any weed in here. I just talked to him about no drugs, in the family and all this other stuff, and, he says, where am I going to find it? You can look all you want. So he looked all through the truck. He found pistolas, he found knives, he found booze, he found Lone Star beer, but he didn't find any marijuana because I've never smoked it. I've never have crossed the threshold. Doesn't hold any appeal to me. So he did that, and I told my son, I'm going to write a song about this. So I wrote a song about that, and within 26 minutes I wrote it after I got back and had it simmer in my mind for a year or two. I kept it in there, and I said, so that's one of the more popular songs that people want to hear on KDA. Where's the weed?
Sing a piece of it.
Where's the weed? Where's the weed? It's audience participation. Where's the weed? Where's the weed? I got a Lone Star in my truck, and that's all I need. Where's the weed? Where's the weed? Where's the weed? Where's the weed? I got Jesus in my heart, and that's all I need.
Oh, cute.
Part of it.
Yeah, that's part of it. Now, Mark, I know a nickname of yours because you used to be on the radio on Sundays.
Yes.
And they would call you El Gringo de Domingo,
Yes.
which I thought was adorable. But I can see your possum shirt because you have another nickname, which is
El Tacuache. Yes. When I started with KEDA, the first shift I got was offered a shift from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m.
Okay.
Monday through Friday in front of Güero Polkas. And so they said, you're going to have an apodo? You're going to have a nickname? I said, yes, El Tacuache. El Tacuache. Why? I said, because I'm white and I come out at night. So I was doing that for a year, and then the Sunday position came open.
Yeah.
During a meeting, they said, Nelda Sines said, I don't want to do the Sunday anymore. I'm working 7 days a week here. I said, I'll take your Sundays. She said, you'll take it? I said, yes, I'll take it. And at that point, I said, I already know what I'm going to be called. El Gringo de Domingo. So I did that for 10 years. What a great time that was. At the same time, I'm playing in the church on a Sunday, then I would go on the air on Sunday afternoon, and I would get to spend Sunday afternoons with everybody in San Antonio, listen to the radio. They're barbecuing, they're cleaning out their garage, they're watching football, they're doing whatever, and I'm doing my best to provide them the great entertainment. Some people would watch the football game, turn the volume off, turn up KDA, listen to El Tacuache, dedicate. I had a 5-hour program at that point, and it was nothing for me, averaging 75 to 85 calls every 5-hour program. And one time and we had the little mini discs. They were really tiny mini discs. We could record on that. And one time on a Father's Day, I recorded 120 calls, and I ran out of space on the mini disc, and we had 120 calls in 5 hours. And I'm doing that, plus putting the CDs in, because there's
and
no
the
computer,
commercials
and the commercials and all that. So I was fairly busy that day. Didn't have time to scratch the piojos in my head. No.
Tell our listeners, tell our viewers your horarios for during the week at the radio station. Tell us.
Now I'm on Mondays and Wednesday nights from 7 to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Okay. Locations that you've played. I know that you played in San Antonio, but you also, the little towns love you. So give us an idea of where else have you played.
Last Sunday I was at Maxwell, Texas, first time. We had a great time over there. We had a 4-hour gig. We scheduled from 4 to 8. I showed up at about 1:30. I'm going to show up early. Normally, I'm going to set up. I'm going to have everything tight and right. And that way I can sit down and drink the cervecita
That's right.
or two before I start playing and have some fun. And so we had so much fun there. After 4 hours, they invited us to play another hour. How much do you want for another hour? We told them the price. Great, we'll take care of it. We'll do that. Another place I like to play is in Austin, South Austin. A gentleman named A. Michael Ullman from Sweden used to run around San Antonio and mainly Austin with the owner up there, and ran around with Doug Somm from the Texas Tornadoes. Mm-hmm. And he contacted Nancy Morgan, the owner of Giddy Ups. He says, I think this guy might fit in for you up here. And so she says, okay. She doesn't know me, I don't know her. We go up and we play in October, I believe it's the 6th, in 2021. And so we play the first set. I get off the stage and I go to the sound girl, Anna, and I said, I'm going to say, how are we doing? She says, don't say anything. I already called the owner, we want you back. I'm like, you want us back already? She says, yes, we want you back already. So Mr. Ullman calls me up and sends me a message on Sunday morning from a Saturday night gig. I'm in San Martin de Porres. I'm pulling out my phone and he says, I want you on these dates up there at November
Scheduled
and December.
already. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And then by Monday he says, no, you have permanent residency there. So every last Saturday of the month, you're there. So we've been there for 2 years now.
How wonderful.
And what a great reception I get up there. It is amazing. It's if we start at 8:30. If you don't have a seat by 8:45, it's a small place. You're not going to be able to sit down until somebody else leaves.
Wow,
So,
that's neat. That's neat.
Wonderful.
Some story that you have from your little traveling wherever, even it's from the west side to the east side or whatever in San Antonio. Some little incident or something that has always stayed in your head.
Well, one of them, Valerio Longoria was mi maestro. Era mi maestro de la Incepción. In 1996, I got out of the military, and that's when I looked up Valerio. I got a long story, but he and I became really good buds. He didn't like a lot of people hanging around him, and I'm not so sure he did that he liked white people at all. But for some reason, he and I formed a bond.
Yeah.
And within 30 days of taking lessons with him, he says, anywhere you want to go, you can come with me. Get in my van and you go. And I did. I was ignorant about Mr. Longoria. I didn't know too much about him. I knew he was a legend, but I didn't know how big he was.
Yeah.
But I said, my gut told me, go with this man.
Yeah.
Go with him, do whatever you have to do, and hang around this man.
Yeah.
So one time, I rode my Harley out to Uvalde. We played out there in Uvalde, and I'm going to ride the Harley back, and of course he has his trailer and a van, and it started raining cats and dogs. I mean, it was crazy bad out there. The storm came in. There's no way anybody should be on a motorcycle. Somehow we rearranged all the sound equipment, and we
stuck it in there.
We stuffed that Harley Davidson, a big Heritage Softail. It wasn't a small one. We stuffed a Heritage Softail, and we got it in there somehow, and we got back to San Antonio at about 5 in the morning.
Well, Valerio was one of the biggies, one of the big guys. Who else have you met throughout your years that you look at and you say, God, what a blessing that I got to meet this human being?
There are many, many of them, and I apologize because I'm going to leave so many of them out.
Yeah, I know,
already
that's
know
for
that.
sure.
But Nick Villarreal was a big influence for me, and we got to hang around quite a bit. We call each other 3 or 4 times a week, and say our little names at each other, and do whatever we had to do. Nick Villarreal, the ones at Lermas, Henry Zimmerly, Don Daniel Garces, Rams Guerrero, Benny Medina. The list goes on and on and on. And Tony De La Rosa, I just got to meet him casually. Steve Jordan, I see him quite a bit. Esteban Jordan, El Pache. Yeah, oh my goodness, go over and see him.
And we just lost Virginio.
And Virginio también, yes. And Naro Aguilar, Virginio. And so got to see them, got to meet Doug Somm briefly in front of Taco Land one day, just standing up there, and he's like, he had his foot against the wall and standing on one leg, and I said, are you Doug Somm? He goes, yeah. Hi, my name's Mark Weber, I'm a big fan of yours. And that was it. And within a few months later, he was dead. So,
wow.
1998, I believe. So. Yeah.
Well, right here in front of me, I have 2 of your CDs, 2 of them. They are for sale.
Yes.
Will you give our listeners, our viewers, your phone number or your website or your Facebook or whatever?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Sure, you can look up my Facebook is Mark Weber or Mark Weber y Los Cuernos, and the CDs are for sale. I have 5 of them out right now 4 of them in print. One of them we have to resurrect it is the first one. I would have to get it reproduced. They're $10 a piece, plus shipping if you need them shipped. You can contact me through the phone at 210-735-3764, 210-735-3764, or an email address is markweber.et1540@yahoo.com.
And you could contact him at the radio station when he's on the radio live.
You can call the radio station.
And he'll dedicate a song to you.
210-226-1540.
Okay, that's KDA.
KDA.
Okay, repeat that number, please.
210-226-1540. 1540 AM.
Okay, and that's tell us about this, please.
Okay, this is an award given to me by KEDA to recognize me for all the support I have given the veterans throughout the years and dedicating to them and so on and so forth. I received this last year at the Veterans Dance that KEDA threw in November on November 11th. So that's what that's all about, and I'm very appreciative to have served the community of San Antonio, incluyendo el hueso, you know.
Tell us about this.
For 19 years. And which one?
Right here next to you.
This is interesting. This is an award for me being inducted into the Tejano Roots Hall of Fame in 2018. They were after me about 2016 to submit an application and a bio, and I kind of blew it off and I said, I don't know if I belong. I mean, after all, I am white, so, and I'm a hillbilly from Ohio, so, so you kind of don't want to tread too much on the people, you don't want to barge right into the table and start eating everything. You got to ask if you're allowed at the table. So after 2 years later, they asked me again, would you submit a bio? And I said, okay, I'll submit a bio. And I submitted it, totally forgot all about it, and then I was out visiting some relatives in Florida. I received a call around the Thanksgiving time frame, and they said, you know what? This is the Tejano Roots Hall of Fame. This is Ruben Lopez, and we would like to congratulate you. You've been selected and to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And it was kind of really, I walked around with my phone after I hung up, and for 45 minutes I said, I can't believe it, I can't believe it, I cannot believe it. And you know what, sometimes I still look at it and I say, I can't believe it, but here I am. And
some great people are on this list right there.
Right, absolute legends.
Oh God, yes, I know.
Yes. So,
and
this right here is from the South Texas Conjunto Association. They're celebrating, I believe, 25 or 30 years, I think 25 years this year coming up, and they'll be coming up here to San Antonio. So the South Texas Conjunto Association also gave me this award, and I've won a few more, or been awarded a few more, and very, very proud to have been selected to receive each award that I have. For me, it's a dream come true. A lot of people have grown up with the music all their lives and listened to it all their lives. I didn't know what it was until I was 32 years old. I had no clue. And so when I looked up Valerio, I pulled out we went to go get an accordion. I was on the clock as a psychologist at the state school. And I sneaked out of work because I wanted to learn the accordion so much that I sneaked out of work while I was on the clock and looked up Valerio. We went out, we bought an accordion from Southside Music, and I took my first lesson from him, and then I went back around lunchtime or so. I'd missed about 3 hours, but it didn't matter to me because the accordion was more important than a job.
Than the job.
Yes, than a job. So
now,
it was
I'm going to ask you to pick up your accordion.
Okay.
And anything that's coming through your brain right now, which it might be scary, right?
It could be.
Could be scary.
Well, I don't know for sure what we're going to do. This accordion, by the way, belonged to Fernando Ramirez. It's an old accordion from, I believe, the 50s. And he was a childhood friend of Nick Villarreal's. And Fernando was suffering from cancer during about 8 years ago, and he needed to sell some instruments. So this is one of the instruments that he sold me. And I proudly take this, and I still play this one at the gigs. It's old, but it still works. So I guess we'll just do the Sancho song here.
Okay,
Why not?
okay.
That's the one that comes into my mind. So
Okay.
I just play a little bit. I'd like to have a bajo sexto with me, but I don't
That's
have
okay.
one here, and no bass or nothing. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. There we go, just a little bit.
Mark,
Nice.
it has been a pleasure, Mark. Thank you so very much for doing this for us. Is there anything you want to tell our viewers? Anything about yourself? About future plans? About you already gave phone numbers. You already gave so we could find you. So you already gave us when you work. Anything you want to end up with?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, at first, here I am at age 37. I don't know anything about anything, but I had a desire to do something. So if you have a desire to do something in your life, go ahead and start. I was pouting for a little bit before I started. I had my thumb in my mouth, and I was kind of crying a little bit. And I said, Mark Webber, you did not grow up with this instrument. You did not grow up with the culture. You did not grow up with the people, nor the music. But you know what? Here's your choice. You're 37 years old. In 20 years, you can have 20 years experience, or you can have 0. Now, what do you want? I said, all right, I'll take the 20. So I took the 20. Have there been setbacks? Yes. Have people talk crap about me? Yes. Will people still talk about me? Yes. Do I care? A little bit, not much. But you gotta let that run off. No matter what your dream is, pursue it 100%. Put more and more effort into it. Listen to a lot of positive motivational tapes that you can get, or videos that you can get. If you want to learn how to do something, you can do it. Go ahead and do that. And I would like to thank you and Yvonne for having me out here. Saludos para el Hueso, the West Side San Antonio, Edgewood School District. Thank you so much. Yes, seguro que sí. And so thank you so much for inviting me and spending time with me. It's my pleasure to serve you here. And remember, I always say, and I sign it off with, God bless you, and God bless your families. God bless Texas, and God bless the United States of America. Airborne!
Hey! Yay! Good ending! You practice that all damn night.
I do it on the radio.
On the radio. Mark, one last thing that I want to cover with you. I know we already put an ending to this, but I didn't ask you. Name me some things you've done besides the military, besides your accordion, your singing. What else have you done?
At age 18 through age 21, I was a wrestling coach. I was a wrestling coach at a junior high by myself. I was 18 years old. I started off, I was coaching 35 kids after school. They were 12, 13, and 14 years of age, and some of them we were still good friends and in good contact. I've been an over-the-road truck driver. I've been a substitute school teacher. I've been an apartment manager. I've been a child caseworker. I've been a psychologist. I ran for state senator here in District 26 in San Antonio. And so I was a janitor, 1999, a special election. That's the one where Leticia Vanderpute won the first time as a state senator. She beat me. I wound up in 3rd place out of 5. So we've done I've done a lot of stuff, and looking forward to doing quite a bit more.
Of course.
So and especially going to the next buffet wherever that is, and chowing down and lifting a lot of weights, and playing softball, playing accordion, and doing some bowling here and there too.
That's a great time. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.